There is a new phenomenon found all over the UK in recent years, and this is called unidentified aerial phenomenon. The same type of UAPs is also reported from other parts of the world. Why is so many people seeing the same type of objects in the sky? Many objects has distinctive characteristics that appear in the skies like a snowball, where some objects seem to have some sort of trail.
Our remit as members of MUFON is to pursue truth while making people aware with regards to visitations to this planet by external forces that appear to have at their disposal technology way beyond the imaginings of our scientific fraternity. Keeping that thought uppermost in our minds, I offer the following. On the 8th of August 2015 at approximately 9:45 p.m, James Lowe was looking out of the bedroom window of his residence located in the area of Warminster, Wiltshire, southern England. It was pitch dark outside, made more so by the fact that it was situated in a very rural area, thus there weren't any lights visible. His attention was drawn to a small, very prominent airborne red dot set clearly against the very black backdrop. Being ex-Air Force, noting it was stationary, it was nothing he could relate to. Quickly grabbing his mobile, he began recording and was more than a bit surprised when it suddenly exploded into bits, rather like a firework. Almost immediately from the array of red fragments, there instantly appeared a small white dot moving in a very erratic manner. While still in motion, it began to get bigger, within seconds reaching a very substantial size. There then followed an airborne display lasting around 2 minutes by what I can best describe as a large, luminous white snowball, carrying out a series of what, judging from the video provided, was a display of controlled moves. While moving quite slowly from right to left, it kept a very level, straight trajectory for around 30 seconds, after which it then turned upwards slightly and began moving left to right on the exact same flight path, while a tray of white debris was spraying from the back of it rather like a comet. Its height during the event I would calculate to have been less than 3,000 feet, making it highly visible against a very dark background. Eventually, via the process mentioned, having been reduced yet again to a white dot, a small object appeared from it, the description which was as follows. It appeared circular or oval in shape, with a white flashing light on it. However, its most distinctive characteristic was its colour, deep ultraviolet, as it slowly departed the scene. I spent most of the majority of my working life dealing with those from a corporate background, one of the requirements being the ability to read and predict the actions, intentions of business people, this being something I was particularly good at. Following a lengthy conversation with James Lowe, I was left with virtually no doubt as to the sincerity of the man. What followed afterwards simply further substantiated that conclusion. Diane Beard still resides in Bolton, Lancashire. On the 15th of August 2016 at 11:19 p.m, the security camera attached to the wall at the back of a house was activated by the sensors provided. No doubt having picked up movements from perhaps a cat or rodent of some kind, it began to record, assisted in its endeavours by the very bright halogen lights provided that were now illuminating intensely the immediate area. Also being picked up was the silhouette of rooftops of the surrounding houses on the estate that could also clearly be seen against a serene dark sky. I found nothing of any significance, purely by chance, appearing from the right, heading left. The camera recorded an object moving quite fast, running parallel above the rooftops. It was a white snowball set stark against the night sky, making it highly visible. Spraying from the back was a trail of white debris, making it identical to the object recorded by James Lowe. The whole incident was captured purely by chance and lasted perhaps 1 minute, during which it made an extreme control loop from left to right and vanished from view behind some houses. During my conversation with Diane, I was informed that following a series of burglaries in the area, she had decided to have fitted the security system referred to. Being at the time on holiday in Greece, she was astonished when her mobile telephone was activated, upon which she was able to see live the event unfold. Yet again, my assessment of the woman concerned is that of James Lowe. It is only, however, when you connect the two, both of which were without geographical or personal connection of any kind, do you then begin to realise the significance of these events. The chances of them linking up is highly unlikely, to say the least, whilst at the same time simply reaffirming the credibility of the two concerned and their respective accounts. It was on the 24th of July 2016 at 9:24 p.m. in Benwick, Cambridgeshire, England, when Stuart Derry stopped his car to video an unusual airborne object that he could see, the distance of which he estimated to be around 2 miles away. It was a sedate, beautiful summer's evening, complete with low-lying light cloud and blue sky. The sun was just starting to set, however the prevailing light was still substantial, providing good visibility. There in the distance could clearly be seen what I've previously referred to as a snowball, with a trail following behind. It was making movements that could only be described as controlled, consisting of extreme loops left and right, up and down, while at one point seeming to substantially increase in size. It eventually headed directly upwards into the clouds, vanishing from view. My assessment of the event following a telephone conversation with the person concerned is that of the previous two, giving me, especially when linking them up, no doubt as to its authenticity. This account, not being MUFON based, was placed on YouTube independently by a man named Jeremy Lefevre. Incident date September 2017, place from Somerset, England, specifically over the Mendip Hills, videoed at night, time unknown. The film, the approximate duration of which is around 2 minutes, graphically shows by far the most prominent portrayal of the same object, previously referred to, carrying out yet again what can only be described as controlled, highly visible, convulsive, and at times violent maneuvers against a very black background. In this instance it is huge, while giving off a very clear white debris trail. Its height was even lower than the others, speed and distance similar, however in terms of scale much bigger. It eventually, as in the first account, almost entirely disappeared. However, unlike the incident in Wiltshire, when a craft emerged deep ultraviolet in colour, on this occasion it was pure white, while floating off silently across the sky. Now, you could be excused for thinking that this was arranged. However, when you bring into play the others and their undeniable obvious close similarity, that possibility evaporates. YouTube, 31st December 2017, place York, England. At 5:34 p.m, while travelling on the A64 between Leeds and York, the dashcam on a car, quite by accident, recorded an object. It was travelling from right to left on a slightly downward trajectory against a black background. It could best be described as follows: luminous white, the size of which was significant, height below 5,000 feet with a vapour trail pouring from the back of it. Yet again, taken on its own, knowing the amount of crap that appears on this station, you could be excused for being highly sceptical. It is only when you look at the big picture do you begin to realise its significance. This was undoubtedly similar in all aspects to those previously mentioned. Thus now we are starting to really stretch the bounds of coincidence and hoax. Yet again, YouTube. Location, Devon, England, 2018. The weather conditions prevailing, as indicated in the video, it is bright with light cloud. The time I understood was late afternoon. Two ladies are looking at an object that leaves them very perplexed as to what it is.
No, I've got the iPhone.
I've got it on iPhone. Have a look through the binoculars and see what you can see. I've got it recorded anyway. I'm not really picking it up very well on this. Can you see anything, Pete?
Yeah.
What does it look like?
Oh, like two balls of light. It's just different of other balls of light.
Wow. I've never ever seen anything like that.
It's an aircraft.
Do you think it's in trouble?
What the fuck is it?
I can hear something. I can hear engines.
Yeah, that's something over there.
Shall I stop recording?
No, to record as long as you can.
Okay.
It's green, man.
It hasn't changed colour to me. It's still the same. God, I've never seen anything like that. Have you? I reckon someone's in deep, deep shit. Well, yeah, he would do if his hydraulics have gone.
It's fucking gone.
Well, what? I can hear engines. There's no other plane about. Yeah, exactly. And you always hear them when they're going over like that.
It's green, look.
Ted, can you hold this man? I'm going to have a look through the binoculars.
I can't see.
Oh, wow, look there. Yeah, see there, look. Faint speck there, look. See? Wow, look at that. Oh, there was a light on it then, look.
What, flashing light?
Yeah, flashing light, definitely. Or maybe it was fire coming out of it, I've no idea. Well, if that's not on the news...
What is that?
Can I have a look through the binoculars?
Yeah, of course you can. You record your page? Yeah. Yeah, there was. One was flying over this way. I've never seen anything like that before, never. I really haven't. It's almost like... Well, yeah, I think it's coming off the wings.
I would say that's alien, wouldn't you?
I don't fucking know. And I've never been in the eye of the fucking
I mean,
boxes.
it is
There's
coming-
another one just coming through the cloud over there.
It's coming off the wings, whatever it is, it's coming off the wings. Oh, there it is, look. There.
Yeah, see, look, we can join it.
It's gone.
Yeah, well, it's gone. It's gone back down.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I can see it's green.
Jesus, no, it's gone sort of grey
That's a
colour.
purple colour.
Where's the other lot gone?
There it is, over there. It's following it. There it goes. See there? There it is.
There it is.
Good grief.
That is alien.
Well,
I reckon-
You can hear their comments as they discuss what they think it might be, such as a plane in distress, eventually concluding that it is probably something extraterrestrial, an opinion very possibly more accurate than I'm sure either of them imagined. What they could clearly see was a white object with a vapor trail emanating from the back of it as it performed aerial intricacies beyond question controlled that would have done credit to any aerobatic team.
He's in trouble.
The very obvious connection between these incidents is now becoming blatantly obvious. High Wycombe, England, Saturday 8th September 2018. A video of this event was posted on YouTube. Here we have a couple of guys witnessing while recording yet again another really bizarre aerial display during the day.
No, they don't. It's f***ing branched off into two, isn't it? Yeah. Oh my god! That's branched off into two.
On this occasion, there are two objects that are the same as those already shown in every detail. A video of which was posted on YouTube that was introduced by a guy wearing a beard, who it turned out is a member of a famous pop band, the name of which, unsurprisingly, I have no idea. You can clearly hear the comments made by those concerned while trying desperately to explain what they are seeing.
That was one, now it's two. Fireworks don't do that, or flares. What is that? They don't do that. That was one, wasn't it? If that joins up as a whole one again, I'm going to be freaked out. It's going together. Look at it. What the hell is it? That's being controlled.
They range from the sublime to the ridiculous, with one of them even going so far as to suggest they might be kites with sparklers attached.
That is bizarre. Look at that. The other one's disappearing, look. See it? It's disappeared. I better come back though. Hey? That's fireworks.
What's that?
Yeah, but fireworks don't act like that. Do they?
Not for that long.
What the? That's bizarre.
Whatever it is, I look on.
Yeah. That's some special fireworks. That's bizarre. But it looks like it's flying around though, under control. Look, it's come back, the other one. Fireworks don't act like that. That's like... They don't go down and up. They don't go down and up. Do they? Look, the other one, I can see them are flashing. Let's see it. Did you see it then? It's flashing up there. Fireworks don't stop and then just stand still. There it is. You can still see that little white light. You see it? Shit. Now it's going horizontal. Just vanished. It's still there, the little dot. That's bizarre. Oh, that's the no. That can't happen. It can't just stop and then do that again. Can it? There's something weird about that. That's bizarre.
Their height and size should have told them how ridiculous that notion was, while clearly indicating their level of utter confusion as they desperately tried to find a rational explanation. I wonder what their reaction would have been had they seen the evidence set before you.
It's weird. I'm glad I'm recording it anyway. People won't believe me. Has it vanished again?
Yep.
There it is. There it is, it's moving. There's a white light.
YouTube, 25th of October 2019 at 7 p.m. Residents of Ann Arbor, Michigan watched and videoed an aerial event lasting over 1 minute, the content of which was exactly the same as the other incidents shown. Taking place at night, the prevailing conditions rather than detracting lent themselves to the situation, as by doing so provided greater clarity.
I can't. No way. It's moving.
We are now starting to stretch the possible in terms of coincidence between these accounts to almost breaking point. La Pampa, Argentina, 3rd August 2020. Security cameras inadvertently recorded an object crossing the sky that is exactly the same as those shown previously. The 2020 television series Unidentified contained a video taken in Salt Lake City portraying 3 objects performing aerial feats that are now becoming a familiar event.
Here, that the object below here then appears ahead of the actual, it blocks right there. It actually blocks out the power line itself. What the system did detect was an appearance issue.
The expert present doing an evaluation were trying to provide an explanation for this. Obviously struggling suggests they might have been created by superimposition, in other words, fake.
It shows a positive trend towards layering. So what that means is this video could have been taken separately and then superimposed on top of a separate video.
Yet again, I wonder what his conclusion would have been had he joined up the dots and seen the big picture. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, July 25th, 2015. We have a video taken by Gustav Roja, a police officer, at 8:25 p.m. precisely. On this occasion, there are 6 objects performing aerial feats that are exactly the same as those already mentioned.
Look at that shit. Look at that 7. Upside down. Yep, UFOs are real. Look at that. Look at the bottom one. Look at the bottom one. The plane's been stopped at before 7. Look at how fucking crazy they're moving. Look. Look, 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 look. We're gonna die. see how they split up too, right? That's a plane right there. That's an airplane. That's not. But then the second one they split up. Look at that, it just disappeared. Just disappeared. This is not Photoshop, people. Wow, that is fucking crazy. Same one, just one. Just one.
A number of people afterwards were asked what they thought they were, with some of them suggesting they were Chinese lanterns. This, yet again, simply serves to indicate the level of desperation to provide an explanation.
What the fuck is this? They were both split apart. They became one. Vietnam. Look at that shit. That shit split into 3, 4. Hey, look, more popped up. More popped up. Oh, look at that shit. Shit, bro. Oh, what the fuck is that shit? Me neither. Why do you think I'm recording this shit? Hey y'all, that's some shit I've never seen in my motherfucking life. Look at this shit.
Beaconsfield, Slough, 28th of August 2019, 9 p.m. Nazim Azad was walking back home with a friend. There was at the time a heavy cloud base around 5,000 feet, totally covering the sky, and the light was fast disappearing. However, it was not quite dark. His attention was drawn to a large ultraviolet area set almost immediately above him, reflecting through the clouds. It was, he said, obvious that whatever was producing it was above the cloud base, completely out of sight. He said it began as a single large circular shape and was flashing on and off rapidly. Suddenly stopping, it then evenly split into 2, both portions of which, still set close together, covering a large area, began moving slowly across the sky.
Bro, it looks like plasma, like the fields I'm talking about. That's mad. Oh, bro. They're over my house. Tell me you can see me. Tell me you can see this. don't even wish this. Bro, but it's purple light.
As he watched it approach his house, he could be heard on the video commenting as such.
They were very
It was at this
together.
point on the video provided that you really became aware of its size. My estimation being about 2 football fields put together.
They're right here.
I spoke at length to Nazim, who left me assured that he was, in my own humble opinion, 100% genuine. Indeed, I got the distinct feeling that so real was his experience, he was fearful as he crossed directly over his house. Bedfordshire, England, date unknown, yet again a housing estate. Conditions weather-wise the same as those prevalent in the incident at Beaconsfield, with a very heavy cloud layer covering the sky, thus as such keeping from view whatever it was, creating an ultraviolet reflection. It goes without saying the object in question was huge. Huddersfield, Lancashire, England, 28th August 2018. MUFON file number 106730. Paul Canning, stepping out of his residence, saw reflecting upon the cloud base present at the time a large area, round in shape, colour vivid ultraviolet, flashing violently on and off. Grabbing his mobile, quickly taking a couple of still photos, he then began recording. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, his video was not working. However, the photo provided clearly indicates and supports his claim. He said during our telephone conversation, after I mentioned the similar incident in Slough, that his account was almost identical in every respect. I asked him why he'd waited so long to submit his report, his answer to which was that his wife had eventually convinced him that he should. Yet again, following my communication with him, I got a very strong sense that this was not a man trying to draw attention. Fox News, March 2019. During a live interview between Tucker Carlson, a very well-known interviewer on American TV, and Louis Elizondo, he admitted that the American government has in its possession wreckage from a UFO.
You think the U.S. government has debris from a UFO in its possession right now?
Unfortunately, Tucker, I really have to be careful of my NDA. I really can't go into a lot of more detail than that.
Okay.
But simply put, yes.
This, having been seen by millions live during the broadcast, provided absolute and total confirmation that this phenomenon is very real.
So the military's decided to stop lying about this. I guess the first question is, why did they lie for so many years about what they knew?
I think that's a fair question, Tucker. I think there could be, this is a topic that is fraught with these landmines, potential, if you will, proverbial landmines.
Even better, during the exchange, Carlson, historically known for debunking this subject, having gone so far in the past as to suggest those of this persuasion might be in need of treatment, as can clearly be seen, was to say the least flabbergasted by this statement from Elizondo.
Correct.
Tucker, we are well beyond right now establishing whether or not these things exist. It is an absolute fact that they are there. Now, what they are, where they're from, who's behind the wheel, we simply don't know.
Elizondo, while stressing his need to comply with the terms of his NDA, non-disclosure agreement, was in fact making plain he had received permission from a higher authority to say this on air. Otherwise he wouldn't be saying it. He wouldn't risk breaking the rules on his NDA. In his capacity as director of AATIP, Advanced Aerial Threat Identification Program, he still held a very high security clearance, meaning that whoever it was that gave him permission, they were very, very high up the chain of command. September 16th, 1994, Roa, Africa. The country Zimbabwe. This event was witnessed by 62 children aged between 6 and 11, boys and girls, mixed ethnic origin, who attended the aerial school, during which they claimed to have witnessed during the morning break an alien craft land on the grass nearby, from which appeared 2 alien figures. The kids afterwards were interviewed at length by an investigative journalist, Cynthia Hind, and a celebrated Harvard child psychologist, Dr. John Mack, both of whom concluded that the children were in fact telling the truth.
Can you just tell me very briefly, if we go along, just say what your name is and what you saw?
Nathaniel Coxall.
What did you see?
There was some like ship landed on the ground.
Why do you say ship? Did it have a shape?
Yes.
Like what?
It had a round top and it was flat around the sides.
What was around the side?
Just so like a platform coming around the side.
Did you see anything else?
Yes, we saw a black man running around.
A little man or what?
From where we looked, he was about this small, but we were quite way away. So he was about our size.
Could you see his face?
No.
What is your name?
My name's Luke Nell, and I didn't see the spaceship, but I saw the little black guy. He was all black, and it looked like he had long hair.
And your name?
My name is Emily Bolton. I saw the little black men. They had longish hair, and it was all black, and they had big black eyes. That's all I saw. I saw a glimpse. They kind of turned around and stared and then went back into a kind of like ship.
What is your name?
Charity Sander.
What did you see?
I saw something silver on the ground amongst the trees and a person in black. And that's all I saw.
In the sky?
I saw them disappear. They went 1 meter up from the ground and then they just disappeared.
Now adults, many of them have been interviewed again, during which they reaffirmed their experience, some getting quite emotional while doing so.
It was literally fear of the unknown, pun intended. You know, that's the best way I can describe it, but I'll never forget it.
It was strange, it was exciting, it was, you know, you don't see stuff like that every day, you know. That was like a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Strange, I guess, like I said, you know what, I mean, I don't want to believe in the whole aliens and stuff, but it always leaves me questioning, thinking, that was very strange, so it is possible.
Many years after, one of the teachers, now the head, admitted that she too had seen what the children had witnessed, adding that she had at the time been too embarrassed to speak up. When asked to give an explanation of the event, she simply stated, quote, "We were visited by aliens," unquote. She can be seen making the statement on the recently released documentary by James Fox, The Phenomenon. March 13th, for several days, 1997, the Arizona Lights incident occurred in the city of Phoenix. Many strange events were witnessed by hundreds of people, some of whom gave graphic accounts of some really strange objects being seen. The governor at the time was Fife Symington, who, in an attempt to dampen down the hysteria this had created throughout, called a press conference during which he brought on his deputy dressed in an alien outfit, adding that we are all taking this a bit too seriously. This sent his constituents into an absolute frenzy, resulting in him having to make during a live broadcast a public apology. It was later he had his own experience, leaving him utterly shocked.
At least here in Arizona today, marking 21 years since the Phoenix Lights first appeared in the sky. To this day, nobody really knows what they were or where they came from.
This event called Lights Over Phoenix. What did you see?
Well, I saw a huge craft just kind of come right over Squaw Peak. That was, it was just breathtaking. And I'm not sure about the date. You've got a better memory
March
for the dates
13th.
than I do. Yeah.
I do believe that we're not alone. I just don't know that we've been visited. But
Well,
you think maybe that night we were?
I think so, yeah. There have been so many different sort of sightings and inexplicable phenomena that, you know, but the disparity in terms of technological progress would be so vast that we would be, I think, of sort of no consequence to whoever is visiting us, because the technology to get here would be just beyond anything we could imagine.
Did it hover?
No, it was just going in a straight line.
Slow pace?
Yeah, slow pace, yeah. And then, you know, there were all
Not
the sightings.
flares.
There were the sightings of the America West plane coming into Sky Harbor, said he could have landed on it.
It was enormous.
Yeah.
Like an aircraft carrier in the sky? Is that about as close
Yeah,
as
I think that's a fair description.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
We are now witnessing a tipping point. You see, the burden of proof used to be on the believers to prove that UFOs are real. Now the burden of proof has shifted to the government and the military to prove that they're not real. But the evidence is overwhelming. We have all this information from U.S. Navy pilots. We now have metrics. We can actually measure how fast they travel, how high they are, what kinds of centrifugal forces that they can experience. And science, remember, is based on things that are testable, reproducible, and falsifiable. Now we have testable information. A game changer.
A news broadcast on American TV with the existence of off-world vehicles being relayed based upon information released by the Pentagon. So what they're stating is based upon information they've received directly from the power base and have been given permission to do so.
Some breaking and potentially explosive news today, which is that the UFOs Commission, basically within the Pentagon, will be giving some findings and reportings to the Senate Intelligence Committee.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude. That's not our LNS though, is it? It's not. That is an LNS, dude. Well, if there's like... Look at that thing. It's rotating. Did you box moving target? No, I took an auto track. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow, look at him fly!
Although as Minister of National Defense, I had sighting reports of UFOs, and the American people and the people of the world have a right to know what's going on, because they're part of it. It's not just an isolated thing. I accept the invitation of Victor Vigiani, who's over here somewhere, and his cohort Mike Bird, to speak to a symposium at the University of Toronto. And I said, UFOs are as real as the airplanes flying overhead. That gave me the dubious distinction of being the first person of cabinet rank in the G8 group of countries to say so unequivocally.
'22. This is a video resimulation by Charles Aylward, highly specialized, The original film was shot in Utah by a film crew making a film. While shooting what they call B-roll, they were using the valley and the general area for just general shots to fill in some spaces. During their filming, they inadvertently picked up on their camera an object. This film was taken apart and reassembled, and the result clearly shows what was shown on the film. I think that speaks for itself. Here we have 14 separate cases spread across 6 years, recorded in different parts of the UK, USA, and one in Argentina, logged on separate occasions by individuals who have absolutely no connection with each other, while all one way or another portraying the same anomalous objects. You might ask, where is the link between cases 102986, 16730 and the others? The answer to which, please find the following. In the case of 69134 Warminster, the video clearly shows something morphing from a tiny red dot into a snowball that eventually becomes a craft of some sort, deep ultraviolet in colour that is quite unmistakable. So much in fact that I'd venture to say the objects referred to in cases 102986, 16730 all bear the same unmistakable distinctive violet hue. Case 69134 is the only one that shows all three stages of change on one video, thus by doing so connecting one way or another all of the cases, be it the white snowball or the colour violet. I do not believe this is a coincidence. The validity of these cases is, I think, on a probability basis beyond question, especially when considering the randomness of the events in terms of the people, dates and geographical areas spread across 3 countries. I realise that there is technology under wraps of which we know nothing. However, even when taking that into account, what is presented as evidence, I think, shows a level of scientific technology of which we can only dream. I rest my case.
And falsifiable. Now we have testable information. A game changer.
They had longish hair and it was all black, and they had big black eyes. That's all I saw.
You think the U.S. government has debris from a UFO?
Simply put, yes.
The truth is very definitely out there.